Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're going to be taking a look at the dance concept officially filmed video of the assistant group from the first season of Street Woman Fighter. Now, I've already reacted to the dance rank mission portion of this. I believe for this one I only had the opportunity to look at the final four, so I didn't get to see everybody as a top 8 with their interpretation of the choreography, but I am excited to see everybody here in this scope with the actual concept. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Okay, so I believe she was the one between her and Siamese who I voted would have gotten the main dancer slot. This mix is so good. Looks like they kept Siamese choreo here even though she's not the main dancer. Yeah. Fun. Love that peel out. That was awesome. Good framing. Hey. 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 Yeah. I like the choices that everybody is subtly different, but then our main dancer has like, she just has extra. That was disgusting. That little was so good. Hey. Oh, with the reverb at the end. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Initial thoughts, I really liked it. I think it was cohesive. And for this one, it feels a little different than what we've seen from the new season, season 2. Because remember, I'm watching this in correspondence to what is actively happening in season 2. We just saw the Dance Rank mission a couple weeks ago. And then they just released Mega Crew, which means that I have to watch Mega Crews of these pretty soon. Oh, darn. But going back to here, so I did say that it was going to be Hailey or Siamese on who was chosen, so I'm glad that I was right in some way. It's encouraging to know that the judges and I were looking at some similar things. I don't know any of the drama or anything that happened if you saw behind the scenes of this, so I don't know if there was any discussions or disputes because of, you know, this concept, but I would say like she framed really well. I also heard that Siamese helped a lot more in this, and I know she wasn't picked, but in the beginning choreo is hers, and then it kind of modified and that kind of stuff. So I do understand that that's probably the drama of it, is that Siamese really didn't get a lot of credit even though she stepped in and helped a lot. So I did read some comments of that. So just seeing the pose, I love this position here, just understanding that you're framing, like I love the flames, and then just seeing the silhouettes, just like looking at their angles, like even, it's just really nice, and even with the hand up top, like I just really like the framing they chose to do in this, and there's a lot of good formation choices. I think there's only 2 instances where I feel that, maybe the dancers that are like being featured alongside our main dancer, it could have been around, like they could have gone about their formation in a slightly different way or integrated them or made it more seamless. But also this is like a full cam, it's like a one take version, right? Which is different than what we've seen from the other versions that we've seen. Yeah. I just love the choreo. I love this. I love the framing too. So just take note here. I believe we have all 8. So we have somebody in the back. I do feel that it would have been nice if she lowered herself a little bit so you could still see her, or having them all, I mean, I love that they're all in different angles. There's a chance she looks like, if you see where their angle is in their face, like she's actually looking side, but she's more directed to the back corner. So that would have just been a little director's note, is that making sure that my back 2 were actually facing straight side versus diagonal, which is what we're seeing over here. But that's such a minor thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, at the end of the day, it looks freaking great. But I will say I do like the fact that, I don't know who made the call. I'm always going to assume it's the main dancer, but I also know it could not be the case. I do like that she's framing more up, like with our back dancer there, but also I feel like you really can't see her, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with the angle. Like if my main dancer just lunged a little bit lower, or had her at the back and then had my center, you know, kind of finish out this V here, I feel like this would have looked a lot different, or it would have felt more complete. Because right now, it feels like we're covering someone up, you know. That's just my initial thoughts. I think that they're the only moments. I really like her presence here. I like how she's like, you know, which is good here. Yeah. Like, I just like that. It's just a nice mix. This is one of the instances I was talking about. So this looks like Siamese, right? So I know that she's kind of like subtly featuring her, which of course I love paying like ode to who the choreo, if you're keeping the choreo, like crediting that, and that's like a subtle way to do that. But just seeing, like, you know, we have a lot of walking formations and walking changes, and I just feel like for her, I think she ended up just walking around after this little section, right? Yeah, and like, oh, she disappeared, which is fine. Like, I think that's good, not in the camera frame, but then just notice, like, we see her just walk around the back. So I feel that we could have done a better job in general for this particular one of just integrating our dancers back in, you know, because sometimes the camera, because with the Mega Cruise, that was probably a really big thing that we didn't see in some of the camera work for season 2, was you had people going in and out, and so a lot of people could kind of move around the camera. But here, we're seeing her right here in the shot, so it's kind of taking away from this line, right? If you want it truly symmetrical here, I know you couldn't really see, I mean, I covered it up, but I know you can't really see that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that was just something, there's just really small details like that I feel like could have been looked at a little bit more. And then just spending an entire 8 count just walking to the back, not even like somebody being, that could have been a really great feature moment, you know, for another dancer while they all watch a new spot. That's just my note too. And then also, that's another case right here. We have another dancer that's not a part of what's happening right here, which is fine, but we see her in the shot, you know? So I would have just thought through a little bit more on how to integrate your dancers back in, you know? That's just my note in general, just that I noticed with this in particular. It just catches, you know? So I love that she joined in right there, and I love that her feature, like, she looks great being featured. Like, that's nice having her join down and having my 2 being featured here. That's really nice floor work. Yeah, so the formations are nice. I think those are just the only things that really took it away from what it could be. Yeah. And I know that they cut from that and they went to this here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you have somebody directly in the back. So that's just, you know, we can't really see them. I mean, it is what it is. And this is a little different than the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like the very beginning could be a little different. Like, this worked because you had them switch, which is why I thought it was fine. Yeah. Yeah, so, but notice here, like, this is fine. Them walking and transitioning back is fine here because it's not just one person, it's everybody except 3 people, right? So it feels more purposeful than just one person who's not in that little section walking around. That just feels a little more out of place. But I really do like the choreo here. Yeah. Yeah, so just kind of noticing they're hitting the music really well. So all in all, choreo, I really do like with the song. Love the mix. I've already said that before. I love that. I will say there's just, you know, it could be a little cleaner because you notice she really should have matched this energy, but just notice that her angle is completely off in comparison to what she's hitting here. So I feel like there's a lot of those like subtle moments. So that's the first obvious one I've noticed. Like that was gross. That was so cool. That was fun. That was fun. And she's doing a reverb at the tail end. That was really nice. My center dancer. So, I mean, I liked it. So, I mean, honestly, my overall thoughts, I really feel like out of all the concepts I've seen, so this is actually my first one I'm watching of season 1, but season 2, I've seen them all, right? So, really my big note for this one would just simply be, just the logistics of where you put your people. You know, I really feel like there was about an 8 count of them just walking that I really feel like even if she didn't want to feature herself, I mean, or it's just not, it was a really good opportunity to feature someone to kind of help alleviate some of that transition, and it was a little bit of a dead space, an 8 count of dead space, right? But then also you have just whenever you do have one main dancer and you have an even number, it is tricky to figure out formations for it. That's why this is just coming from my colleagues. A lot of my colleagues prefer odd numbers, especially like 5 and 7, because it's easier to have a point, and it's easier, like odd numbers take up the space in an interesting way. Like you can make interesting choices and you don't have to always fight symmetry, or have to, whenever you're creating points in your formations, it's really tricky to get it to where everybody is seen, and you end up having a break center kind of situation, but like somebody in the front and then somebody breaking center on the side. So whenever you have a feature like this, I think it would have operated better if it was an odd number, honestly, but because whenever you're dealing with 8, none of these concepts are odd numbers, right? Unless somebody gets injured, which Lord forbid, right? But I'm just saying, like, you have to be mindful of those types of formations that you choose. You want to make sure that, of course, you have your main dancer, so I know that wasn't really as much of a priority, making everybody be seen. But typically, under circumstances when you work with like kids at a recital, when mom and dad are like with a camp, like with a recorder, with their phone, like wanting to watch their kid, and you have 8 dancers or an even number, you want to make sure that everybody is seen as much as possible, right? So that's just my, like, I think that's my one note that I feel like really could have taken this and made it look more refined. Because like I've already said, I've said it multiple times already, love the content, love the costuming, love the staging. I love a lot of this. I think that's really the only thing that I felt really caught my attention, that I feel like could have refined it and made it even more tasteful. You know what I mean? So that's just my one note. Once again, it's my opinion. I really did like it, and I'm so glad that they have these kinds of videos, because it's really cool for me to be able to look at and analyze. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. I've really enjoyed the series, and I really love the fact that I'm able to watch this alongside you. And if you want to watch a lot of my videos a little bit earlier, I do have a Patreon that gives you the opportunity to watch this probably about a week in advance compared to whenever I release it onto YouTube. So if you definitely want to be a part of this series or any future series that I'm on, but be able to see the reactions to them a little bit faster as I make them, then I would check that out. I got a couple tiers for depending on how you want to invest, and all tiers do include early access, even the smallest one. So any investment would be great. And yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing you guys here, Patreon, wherever. And yeah, and I will check you on the flip side. Bye guys.